And a good afternoon, baseball and softball fans around the country. The 2024 AFA Softball Fast Pitch National Championships here in St. George, Utah. My name is Chris Aller with the live call. Two good teams going after one another. The Dukes Baseball Organization going against the Magic, the Utah Magic. And a big game here within the 12U division. The Utah Magic 12U going against the West Coast Dukes. And a strike call to get things started off. We'll get your lineups here. Yazi Abrea at the plate. Gets a strike. Ball is low on the inner part of the plate. The count goes to 1-1. Well, we're winding things down here in multiple age divisions throughout the 2024 AFA National Championship event. It's been a fine tournament, and we're seeing some outstanding softball being played here. And the ball's chopped foul high to the out of play area. Actually, opportunity to roll off in foul territory, but no play there. The count is a ball and 2 strikes. So Yazi Abrea looks at a ball and 2 strikes. We'll get you the Dukes lineup in just a bit here. We're just looking for some additional information from the team. We'll get that for you. And a ball hit. Bobble there, could be trouble. Good speed down the line is in time. So a good defensive play on the second base side. And Abrea laying it out there. And a good attempt to get down on the first base and not able to execute there. Good defense. Lily Knight will step in. So Johnson will step in with 2 outs on the books. Kimber ready to go here. And a strike called. A good-looking pitch there to stride off, and the count is 0-1. As Utah Magic trying to get something started. The West Coast Dukes, on the other hand, like to get on the offensive side. Pitch on the way. And swing and a miss. Foul tip into the glove. So good pitching so far out of the West Coast Dukes. And strike 3 there. So they go in order. 1, 2, 3. And they'll sit the side there. They'll get back on the offensive side. We're in the bottom of the first inning. No score. You're enjoying the 2024 AFA National Championship. And again, we hope you've had a good weekend and a good experience here. I've had an opportunity to call a number of games from all the way down to 10U to 18U. And seeing the 12U division here as we're getting very close to the closeout of the tournament. It's excellent to see the caliber of play amongst these organizations here. The Utah Magic 12U and the West Coast Dukes. Outstanding pitching to start the first half of the inning as we get ready to continue to roll on. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action. We're ready to go. Ball hit, chop foul to the left side, actually down the line, not foul ball. And like that, Kimber Johnson and the Utah Magic take care of the first batter for the West Coast Duke. Gabriel Brooklyn, I should say, center fielder for the club. So Brooke with a hard hit ball to the third baseman. And that takes care of the first out there. Over in the 5 spot, Alec Nance has Kimber Johnson ready to go. Casey Peterson, one hopper to the second baseman. That'll do it right there. So like that, a 1-2 so far. So a strike called there. Blue kind of hesitated there. Our umpires here, Troy, behind the plate. Yeah, working with Martin down on the infield, and the coach on the first base side was looking at that like, what happened there? So the batter steps back in. And Casey Torrey Newman, number 5, takes a cut, fouls it off. So 2 outs so far. And we're ready to go here as Kimber Johnson gets ready to deal. And Torrey Newman, number 5, the left fielder, takes a look, and the riser is up for a ball. The count goes to 1-1. So following our umpires in their calls here today, as I mentioned, Troy behind the plate. As Kimber ready to deal. Pitch on the way. And again, strike called there. And so a 1-2-3 inning for Kimber Johnson and the Utah Magic. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Alexa Nance, and good speed, but a good defensive play. And that'll take care of the first out. So far, it's been a pitching battle. It's early on. Bella Hill will step in. Bella number 16 for the team. I know not to use it. I just need a number on it. Thank you. So we got all that worked out. We're ready to go. Bella Hill steps in. And a riser just up and out of the zone. The count goes to 1-0. Ball's cut foul. Bella takes a cut, fouls it off to the right side and out of play. So a 1-1 count to Bella Hill. And Hill, hard hit ball, gets through the glove on the first base side and down the line and on board. So Bella gets on board, and I'll bring up Leah Malo. Leah looks down to her coach. Little communication for the players here as you're enjoying the 2024 AFA National Championship matchup here between the Dukes West Coast Club and Utah Magic 12U. So Riley, the 1-2 count, trying to keep the umpires, keeping us with the counts available. Look. And the count is 0-1 to Leah. Pitch on the way. And cut foul straight back, an 0-2 count. So Riley takes a look, gets the pitch call. Pitch on the way. And a ball hit shallow, second base side. And that's going to be on board for a single for Leah Malo. So Malo gets on board, and Lila Comey will get in. She'll step on as Comey looking for an opportunity here with one out in the top of the second inning. No score. So Lila Comey will step in. Riley ready to go, takes a look on her wrist, gets the pitch call. And good pitch there. Good cut for Cowley. And that gets right through. So Riley will work ahead. The count is 0-1. Bunt attempt, good play there. Trouble, they'll throw it down the line, is in time. But the runners will advance. Comey does her job. She'll move everybody over 60 feet. The outs recorded, they get their second. And that'll bring up June Sylvia. Correction number 24, Sandberg. So Maya Sandberg at the plate. Good pitch there. And a strike called. The count is 1-1. Runners at second, third with 2 outs here. Opportunity to get something going on the board here for the Utah. Ball's out. And the count goes to 2-1. Ball's popped up, fouled straight back and out of play. So a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Riley ready to deal. Looking to spin one up here. Opportunity though for the Utah Magic. Pitch on the way. And a foul ball. So Sandberg will step back in with a 2-2 count. Riley checks her pitch call from the dugout. Pitch on the way. The ball is low. A 3-2 count. A full count for Maya Sandberg. And Sandberg locked and loaded at a full count. Riley looking to spin something up. And a ball's hit shallow. That could be right to. And a drop ball there. Coming home. No play there. And like that, the shortstop backing up. So Thomas looked as though she had the third out. Ends up ball dropping out of her glove. And a single and a 2-run RBI. Yazi Abrea will step in. Ball is low. The count's 1-0. So Abrea has got Sandberg over on first base. And the ball gets through for the strike. Swing and a miss there. So a 2-2 count to the batter, Jesse Johnson. And a ball's hit to the right side. Right fielder backs up under it, makes the grab. So a fly out to right for Jesse Johnson, but the Utah Magic 12U, they strike first. They're up 2-0 over the West Coast Dukes. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action here. Kalina Tafua, she'll step in and get things started here for the Dukes. As we're at the bottom of the second inning here. Kimber Johnson stays in the pitching zone. Misses there on the inside. The count is 1-0. As Kalina, locked and loaded, steps back in. Johnson to deal. And a hard hit ball, a line drive to Sandberg. What a rip for Kalina. If that ball would have got through, it would have been down the first base side and a long way. Sandberg with a quick reaction right off the barrel. And that'll bring in the 5-hitter, Natalie Romero. Strike called. Romero lays off there. And the count is 0-1. Once again, you're enjoying the semifinals here in the 12U division. Winner goes on to the title match. They get to the show. Pitch on the way. Bunt attempt. Good idea. Push bunt down to the first base side, but goes foul. So parents, 1-2 count, Francisco and Rebecca Romero. Shortstop, Murray out of California. She's interested in UCLA, USA Softball Olympics as well. Some aspirations for this fine young player. As she pulls it foul to the left side and out of play. When asked about who her favorite athlete was in team, she likes the Dodgers and Mookie Betts. Why not? Great organization, great player in Mookie Betts. They call her Romo. She steps back in. The 1-2 pitch. The ball is up and out. The count goes to 2-2. So Romo looks down the line to her coach, Kimber Johnson, with one out on the books. The Utah Magic, a 2-2 count here. Pitch on the way. And a big cut there. Foul tip in the glove. That'll do it. And a K strikeout recorded for Kimber Johnson. And that'll bring up Samantha Halper, a.k.a. Sammy. Primary position, she says, I'm the ultimate utility player. Coach has got to love that. You just tell me where you want me, I'll go. Pitch on the way. And jammed down the inner half there. She almost got tagged, but moved away from the pitch. The count is 1-0. And swing and a miss there on the changeup. Strike called. It's a 1-1 count. So the count is 2-1. And the ball's cut foul straight back. The count is 2-2. Just to give you a correction on the Dukes batter, the 5-hitter, Romo is the last name, not Romero. And we apologize for that. Sometimes the paperwork we get on occasion is not always accurate, but nonetheless, that is the proper pronunciation. Well hit ball right back to the pitcher. And that'll do it. Get the third out. They go 1-2-3. We'll be right back. You're enjoying the semifinals here, the 12U division, the 2024 AFA National Championship. Chris Aller with the call. Stay with us. Now back to live action here. So Yazi Abrea looks at a 1-2 count. Riley deals low on the inside part of the plate. And a riser up, lays off there. Strike called. And the strikeout there, Lily Knight will step in. One down here in the top of the third. Utah Magic 12U leading this one 2-0 over the West Coast Dukes. Riley pitching a good one for the Dukes so far here in the top of the third. Ball is up. And Knight, looking at that one, you could kind of hear her talking about it. Like, woo, this is in tight. Riley just missing on the inner third of the plate, and the count goes to 2-1, I believe. We'll have to double check it. I'm having a hard time here with our umpire following his calls, but I'll get with him in a second. Bunt attempt laid down. Change up. 3-1 count. Lily Knight steps back in. And a strike called there. And the count is 3-2. Slow roller to the shortstop side. A good grab, throw, one hopper, not in time. So down the line quickly. Lily Knight gets on board with a single. Beats out the throw from the shortstop position. Stepping in number 2, Kimber Johnson. One out here in the top of the third. The count is 1-0. Bunt laid down. They rotate off on the first base side. And runner stays at second. So they get the out. And 2 down here. Alexa Nance steps in. Ball off the glove of Riley, and a good defensive play from the shortstop. So Kalia Thomas comes through. And a good defensive effort there. We'll head to the bottom half. Stay with us. It's a good one. The semifinals. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action, ready to go here in the bottom of the third inning, the 2024 AFA National Championship Fast Pitch Tournament here. Two good teams. Ball out. The count's 1-0. Josie Elsmore, second baseman. They'll go 7, 8, 9 here. I have the pleasure this afternoon with Bené Higgs, the assistant coach from New Mexico State. Bené, nice to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good deal. Well, I'll tell you what, we are excited that you're here, and I know it's probably a pleasure for you as well, seeing some of these young athletes and just kind of where the talent level's at as you look at some of the future players within women's softball.
Yeah, you know, it was really nice to be able to come out here. St. George is beautiful, and with the different age brackets, it gives us an opportunity to look at just talent at different levels.
Yeah, absolutely. As down the line there for Elsmore, off of the third base side, a good defensive play. So they'll turn that over and they'll get the first out. You know, it's interesting because the level of talent, it just seems like the game continues to evolve, and we're at younger ages. We're at 12U right here watching this game. It's just amazing to see how good these kids are at such a young age.
Yeah, last inning, really good play to end the inning, you know. With the championship on the line for us as college coaches, it's always important for us to see them want to compete. So opportunities like this don't come around all the time with showcases, and it's always nice to see them get out there and compete.
Yeah, for sure. And it probably gives you at least a line on sight on what's happening within the youth development, right? And talk about that a little bit. I mean, as you know, being a former player in your day and now a coach, you know, what do you look for when you're out there and, you know, you're kind of just assessing what the needs are of your programs, etc.?
You know, really we're looking for athleticism and somebody that really wants to, you know, invest that amount of time at the next level, because it's not easy. It's a lot of fun, so we're looking for people that enjoy playing the game and enjoy competing and are looking to constantly improve their skill.
Yeah, and it's interesting you say that because, you know, we talk about skill development and skills that can scale and really, you know, what's the next step as these players emerge and evolve. And it's interesting to see it because, you know, we had the coach from Utah Tech out here, Randy Simpkins. He was out here a couple days ago talking to the athletes, and it's really neat to hear him talk about what he looks for, like in young players, like how do they handle themselves in adversity and challenges, and how do they come off the mound and their body language. You know, yeah, you might think, you know, hey, I'm batting 400 or I'm 4 for 4, but what's the rest of my makeup look like, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I mean, everybody says it, a good batting average is 300 and you're going to be out 7 times, but you know, sometimes people really do think that they can go 10 for 10. So just trying to see somebody that can be realistic and kind of just move on to the next pitch is all kind of part of the puzzle.
How's the collegiate level, in your opinion, as it continues to evolve and you see this sport kind of going in the direction it has? I know there's some opportunities. A well-hit ball for Lauren Meyer. We'll get back to that as she gets down the line quickly. Good off the barrel. Good swing there.
Yeah. No,
Most
that was a hard hit ball.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So she's on board with a single with 2 outs here as Kimber Johnson stays pitching here. Is stepping in number 2. But as I was talking kind of about, you know, the whole future of the game, and as you see it developing from your perspective, you know, does it look positive? I mean, I know the collegiate level is one thing, but taking it beyond that.
Yeah, no, the game's never been more exciting. You know, we're one of the most viewed female sports on television collegiately. The game's getting way faster. The student athletes are very invested in their craft. So, you know, it's an exciting time to be in softball, and it's a fun time to coach the game.
Yeah, absolutely, I bet. And you know, within your program, how is your program and the university doing within, you know, your conference, and you know, how do you feel about your future and your teams, and as you're getting new players in coming out of high school, and you know, some of your players that are seasoned, etc. How are things looking for your program?
Yeah, really good. We're really excited in New Mexico State. We just switched conferences, so we were in the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference, and switched over to Conference USA. So, you know, bigger footprint, you know, the parities up there, and it's considered a group of 6 type of conference. And so between the talent and the competitiveness and being able to play in those big stadiums and on crowds, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you talk about crowds. I mean, it seems like, you know, the sport continues to evolve, and, you know, more and more people are coming out and gaining the interest in the game, which is important, right? I mean, you need to see that. I think we talked about that a little bit offline, just about how certain stadiums are starting to do a little bit better within the professional environment. How do you see that evolving? I know that's really kind of a, you know, it's probably a pretty broad question to ask, but, you know, just to sort of focus in on where you see the longer term value to the game as it grows, because it just seems like the youth movement is massive.
Yeah, you know, really, I'd love to see more families come out to games. You know, we're very fortunate in Las Cruces, and I've noticed this a lot of the Conference USA schools. There's a lot of local support, you know, but, you know, seeing some of these kids come out and watch the games, get a feel for it, and just really enjoy the passion that the college players exude on the field is something that, you know, I'd love to see to continue to grow. So that's a big part of, you know, getting butts in the seats for, you know, the future of a professional program, and just these guys getting to see, you know, players that used to be them at one point in time.
Yeah, and I think that's a positive sense of encouragement too, because when they're sort of aligning their future prospects and saying, you know, okay, I'm a young player and I'm going into high school, that hopefully will be a great experience for me, and then all of a sudden I'm a pretty good player, now maybe college could be a pathway, and then what happens after that, you know?
Yeah.
And I realize, you know, everybody has got to go into college, you know, with a plan A, plan B, unless, you know, you're in the 1% category, but that's, you know, it's hard to get there. I mean, you've got to have certain attributes, right, to be in that level, but to know that there's a good pathway for these young ladies that want to aspire to play in high school and college, I think it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, even just to think it's a possibility. I know New Mexico State, we do this every year, and it's a lot of fun. Our players don't volunteer their time, and we do a free 10 and under clinic for people in New Mexico, you know, just locals. And we're close enough to El Paso. Some of the El Paso kids will come up, but just a free clinic so they get to meet the college players and kind of understand that they were them at one point, and try and really grow the interest in the game.
And I think that's the key. I mean, you know, organizations like AFA and what's happening within the AFA platform and what they're doing to help promote the game, entities like this, it speaks volumes to the growth. I don't do a ton of softball, I do more baseball, but, you know, just to see the impact and the number of people that have come out for this thing, it's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know, and the ability to travel and meet new people, do new things. You know, a couple of the younger players were showing me their pins. It's cool to think that they still do that, yeah.
Yeah, and so I had the pleasure of going to their, like, opening ceremony night. I came in on Thursday, and, you know, Glenn Messick, who's the director for the event and been operating it for a number of years, I thought there's going to be maybe a couple thousand people. There was like over 7,000 people that were. It was amazing to see these stands full, young kids with their costumes based on sort of their beach theme and all of that. Was pretty cool to see. And, you know, it tells me that the interest level's there.
Yeah.
You know, families can kind of make it more than just a tournament. Because sometimes, you know, you play at certain events and certain tournaments, ball hit to the shortstop side, a long throw across is in time. So Bella Hill will have a seat. Shortstop making some good plays defensively over on the Duke side. But you know, it's good to see. It's healthy for the game, and I think people make these more like a sort of a vacation as well. We're in a beautiful place here in St. George.
Oh yeah, tons of things to do outdoor. The food's been pretty good in town.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, it needs to be more than about you as an individual athlete. You got to really enjoy playing in a team environment and, you know, meeting the people. I was fortunate as a college student and even as a coach to have traveled all over the U.S. because of softball. So, you know, them getting that opportunity at a young age is always something that I think, you know, piques their interest and kind of opens up new doors along the way.
Sure, absolutely. And the people you meet, you just never know where those pathways are going to lead to. You know, it's interesting to see that dynamic. Well, ball on the inside. Melo lays off. The count is 2-0. As Leah looking to get on here with one out. Utah Magic leading this one. Second baseman, easy roller there. Should be a routine play, which it is. And they pick up their second out. Academically, I know it's so important for these young athletes also to stay focused on that, because there's multiple parts to the process, right? The journey requires the academic side of things and of course the athletic side. Do you see that level of involvement? I mean, it seems like kids today are more into school, or a lot of kids are focused on that. Like, it's okay to be smart, it's okay to be in school, it's okay to get good grades. It's kind of cool in some places, you know. It just depends on where you are. And I realize there's different levels of learning, and I respect that. But that's an important part of the process too, right? And sometimes people forget that. You could have an exceptionally talented athlete that's not really well academically, and those can be challenges.
Yeah. No, and there's a high correlation between the student athlete that does well in the classroom. They're going to find it much easier on the field because they've just taken care of stuff off the field. So, you know, time management is a piece for college athletes. It's very doable. You just got to make sure you're getting your work done ahead of time. And we see those players that do well off the field in their academics and their social life tend to find themselves competing very well on the field as well.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, it's all part of that development piece of, you know, IQ not only in the academic environment, but high IQ on the softball field. And when you're in your competitive environment, you know, at the end of the day, it's about situational plays.
Yes.
You know, because as a coach, you can articulate certain things, but you're not out there at shortstop in a situation where runners are in the corners and whatever the situation might be. You know, where do I go if the ball comes to me, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you certainly, the X's and the O's you do in the classroom, but the execution part of it, it's on them.
Well, and if you want to play at a higher level, like I think about the World Series this year, and there was a bounce, there was a high hopper that the shortstop played back, but the base runner was too fast, so she needed to come forward and get the first hop to get the batter out. Instead, she played it back, and the runners ended up scoring. She didn't get the out. So,
which could have been a big differentiator in the game, right?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. So, you know, things like that, you know, being able to understand the game at that level and make quick decisions like that, you know, outside of practice is, you know, can determine the success at that speed of the game.
Absolutely. Well, it's exciting to know that there's a bright future here, and, you know, at least through the high school and college environment, and hopefully the professional arena will start to adopt and, you know, find a pathway so there can be some equity and there can be an opportunity for professionals, you know, to go out and make a good living.
Yeah.
I think it would be great to see that. I'm sure you're probably an advocate for that. I mean, being around the game.
Yeah, you know, if you want to play, you know, they talk about females, they still have a lot of years left in them when they graduate from college, and we don't even see them at their best. So, you know, it'd be huge to see them, you know, in a viable pro option and just get to enjoy that arena. Yeah,
and I think that experience would certainly speak volumes to, you know, the interest in the public environment and such.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but, you know, I know there's some organizations out there, and I've watched some of their games, and, you know, I think there's some startup groups that are trying to get traction, but, you know, I know we had a little bit of a conversation offline about that, and, you know, you really hope that the right entities and can come together, and the right people that are running these leagues understand what the need is, you know, instead of just saying, hey, let's throw a bunch of money at something, or my name's on something, so maybe it will go. It's not always the case.
Yeah, you know, you're starting to see a lot of growing interest in Athletes Unlimited. They're actually going on right now. You know, and we hope to see more fans get out there. A lot of it's going to be determined by the fan support as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's the key to it, as you said. I mean, you've got to put people in the seats to be able to enjoy the experience and get a feel for what it's really like. Like, as I mentioned, I don't do a lot of softball, but to see the level of competition, what I've seen so far is it seems like it's a very positive future. And the ball drops in over on the third base side, a single, a little flare. Get you on board, that's the key, right?
Yeah.
And a little trouble there, throwing over to first. Will they make a play at third? No, so advancing the runners. So an extra base to move over from second to third. What really started out as just a flared single to the third base side, and now the runner at second ends up at third. They got runners at the corners now, a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, they're putting some pressure on the Dukes here. What is it, the top of the fourth?
The top of four, yep.
So hoping the Dukes can hold them a little bit here to keep the score tight.
Absolutely. Jesse Johnson steps in. And a ball called there. Are your players, do you do much with your players in the summer? I know your season, there's a quiet period for you and such. A lot of your players kind of on downtime, kind of self-training, doing what they do. How do you all handle that?
Yeah, you know, we encourage the ones that maybe didn't play as much as they would have hoped to get some playing time in and work on some skills. You know, we usually have that conversation with them at the end of the season, and then those that played a full load, you know, take a break, but just keep playing softball just a little bit, whether it's just hitting during the week or throwing, just to keep their skills up so that when they come back in the fall, you're not knocking off too much rust.
Yeah, right. So you're ready to go for the most part. Well, look, it's certainly a pleasure speaking with you, and Bené Higgs, assistant coach in New Mexico State. I appreciate your time here, and thank you. Hopefully we'll have a chance to hear from you again, and your program will continue to evolve, and you'll gain some great success. And obviously, putting your eyes on the future of the game, hopefully it's bright for you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you. We'll be right back. The 2024 AFA National Championship. We'll get back on the bottom half of the fourth inning. Chris Allard with assistant coach Bené Higgs. We'll be right back. And down the line quickly, and a good defensive play. And good speed, just almost made it. As Tori Newman with good wheels, but coming from the third base side, a well play. And the first out is recorded. And a ball pulled to the left side. Good barrel. So Kalina with a good cut, but pulls it foul. And the count is 0-1. Kimber Johnson. Correction, Leah Malo taking over pitching for Kimber Johnson. And a ball there. Count goes to 1-1.
Oh, yeah. Well, you could have still done it. You just get some so it'll rehydrate. Remember the water? It's clean water. All it was is melted ice.
So Kalina gets on board, a hit by pitch there. And the batter, number 24, will step in. So Romo steps in with an opportunity. Count is 1-0. Romo steps back in, locked in the box here. Melo ready to deal, runner at first. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike call. The count is 1-1. Kalina over at first base. The 1-1 count here with 1 out. In the bottom of the fourth, it's a 2-0 low-scoring affair. Semi-final matchup, 12U. Winner goes to the show. Pitch on the way. Bunt attempt laid down in the box. Dead ball. So the 1-2 count. Well, the 1-2 pitch forthcoming here. Romo ready. Riser fastball gets her. A good cut there. She wasn't happy with that, but a good looking pitch from Melo. She'll get the K. So Halper will step in. Samantha. Kalina over on the first base side. 2 outs on the books here. We're in the bottom of the fourth frame. And strike at the plate. And the count's 0-1. And the ball swung on, fouled off and out of play. So Halper will step back in. Dave and Heather, parents here, enjoying this great tournament. Pitch on the way. Ball's up and out. The count goes to 1-2. From Marietta, California, she's interested in her college life at the University of Washington. Her parents, like a lot of parents, they were in Little League. Her favorite player from the University of Washington, Kinsey Hansen. Quite an athlete there, UW. And the ball is low. Looked like a changeup to me. Count is 2-2. Correction, 2-1. And a ball hit to the left side. Everybody on the move in foul territory, and that one's over the fence. And the count will go even at 2-2. So Samantha, she'll step back in. Halper locked and loaded. Melo ready to deal. And a pass ball will move Kayla over to second. And the count goes full at 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch. And the ball's hit to the right side. Right fielder backing up. That goes over her head. Here comes Kayla around third. She will score. And in with the double, Samantha Halper. So Halper with a solid knock to right center. Right fielder over her head. She released a little bit later. Route looked kind of like she was backing up before she opened up. And it's a 2-1 affair here with 2 outs. Halper gets the RBI double out of the deal. Josie Elsmore, the second baseman. She's in the box. She'll foul it off. The count's 0-1. Eric and Leanne, parents, joining her here. She's another big fan of UCLA and South Carolina. Mom played softball. Dad played soccer. Her favorite team, the Padres and the Bruins. The ball is low. And a little hesitation over on second base. Halper looked like she was going to be on the move. And the count goes to 1-1. Ball up. The count goes to 2-1. As far as developmentally, what does she say about herself? She says, I want to continue working on pitching and playing in college. Well, young ladies out here today, they're certainly on the right path. Pitch on the way. And a strike call, the delay on that. And the count goes to 2-2. So Martin, the infield umpire, some questionable calls here at the plate, which is just other folks voicing their disapproval of that. And again, I think Martin wanted to establish right away that the home plate umpire has control of the game and it's his responsibility. But again, you know, heat of battle, people get a little frustrated. You got to just let that go. The count is full. Josie. Oh, and a good stop. The play across is in time. What a defensive effort as Josie had a good knock to the second baseman. And that play ended up executing there well, so that'll turn it over. They'll strand one, but they pick one up. It's 2-1. We'll go to the top of the fifth. So Yazzie for the Utah Magic putting her own bit of magic on a great defensive effort as she did her thing and got the out. Josie had a good swing for the Dukes, but they'll turn it over. They picked up one, though. We're in a 2-1 affair here in the top of the fifth frame. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action. We're in the 5th frame of 7. There's no time limit here in the semifinal game. And we're ready to go here. And a cut there. And Abrea takes a cut there. Riley continuing to pitch. Riley's pitched a good one so far for the Dukes as she's looking in for her pitch call there on her wrist. Pitch on the way. And ball was up. The riser, that was up tight and in the inner half. Abrea laid off. And the count is 1-1. I'd like to thank our umpires here, doing a nice job throughout the weekend. Troy behind the plate, working with Martin down on the first base side. And a ball's popped up and out of play. It's a 2-1 count. Tayazi takes a cut there. Strike. Swing and a miss. 2-2 count. So strike 3. That'll do it. We apologize on the scoring there. I'm just trying to follow the umpire and follow what he's tracking on his indicator, but we need to make sure we're getting the signals as well. He's doing his best, and we'll be ready to go as Lily Knight steps in. And the count is 1-0. Riley comes inside and low. The count's 2-0. And the count goes to 3-0 to Lily Knight. And a strike call there. The count is 3-1. Robert and Heather, mom and dad, out here enjoying this tournament. We're from West Jordan, Utah. She's not sure where she wants to go to college. She does have a desire and aspirations too to go to college. And a well-hit ball, that'll drop it in the gap. And that could be extra. She's going to shut it down and come back to first, as the center fielder able to gather and grab the ball there quickly. So Brooklyn takes care of that. Knight gets on board with a single, and that will bring up Kimber Johnson. You're looking at 1 out here in the 5th. Mike and Paige, her parents here. And a ball chopped foul to the right side. And the count is 0-1. Her college interest, OU. She's got a great attitude when it comes to her personal development. She says, I want to be the best I can be. Straightforward. Good stuff. Kimber Johnson. 0-1 count here. Riley takes a look, ready to spin one up. Pitch on the way. Good bunt down the third base side. Attempt there at least. Ball with lots of rotation, spinning off the barrel and goes into foul. An 0-2 count. Riley works ahead with 1 out. A lot of players today wearing the wrist guard, pitchers, and coaches like to work with the number system. And a ball's cut foul straight back, which can be challenging at times, I'm sure, depending on the pitch sequencing and what you're looking at along your wrist. But I'm sure most of that's kept to the point where you can acquire the information to be able to follow those numbers you're getting. The count is 0-2. To Hopper to short. They go one there. Trouble there. There's no play. So a miscue on the force, which will keep the runner safe at second. So runners at first and second with one out. As things continue to heat up here with one down, Alexa Nance will step in. Strike called. Counts 0-1. And a rip, a solid line drive. That gets through to the fence. Almost, actually, the ball was knocked down from the center fielder. That was a good play to save that from going through. So gunning down the runner. And a long throw in and got off the base. I didn't see the full play as I turned away. And the out at third. So a double. And a runner out at third. That'll be 2 outs. And a substitution here. So June Sylvia will come in to hit. And a substitution's made on the Utah Magic side. And the umpire is not even behind the catcher, and June was ready to go. She's fired up. Get in the box. I want to swing it. And June takes a cut. Fouled off, the count's 0-1. And in time, a good defensive play there. June down the line quick with the right fielder. Samantha Halper fires one in, they'll turn it over. Stay with us right at the bottom of the fifth. We'll be right back. Well, back to live action. We're ready to go. High fly ball over on the first base side, getting under it and just outside the reach of Sandberg. The ball was high up in the air. So Kalia Thomas, they go 8-9-10 here. Or 8-9-1. Got a flex player here. And the ball's fouled off. And a push bunt up the first base side, well executed. And on the defensive side, they make the transitional shift. And a good play there. So with good speed. What an excellent bunt pushed up the first base side. Kalia was on the move, but the second baseman for the Magic was able to roll over and shift. So good work there for Kimber Johnson. A 1 out. Ball's fouled off there. Lauren Mayer takes a cut. Lauren steps back in. West Coast Dukes looking to get things back on track here on the offensive side. Leah Melo on the other side, ready to deal. They change up. Good swing there. Strike called. Got her on the changeup. She got in early. Count is 0-2. Ball is up. The count goes to 1-2. So Lulu, they call her. Got a 1-2 pitch coming her way. Ball is low. The count goes to 2-2. Justin and Stephanie, mom and dad here enjoying watching their daughter play this week. It's been a great tournament so far out of Murrieta, California, as I mentioned. Her aspirations, becoming an amazing catcher. Love it. It's hard to find catchers nowadays. Everybody wants to be in those glamour roles and those glamour positions, but certainly a catcher can be pretty glamorous at times, but it can be a rough position as well. Nice to see that focus. Ball's hit into the gap. Center field's got to make a move. That'll drop in. So Lulu gets on board. And a single. So back to the top of the order. And so they're going to run for Lauren Meyer. Just got on board with a single. And at the top of the order for the Dukes with Brooklyn Gabriel. And a good push down the third base side, and a bullet, and safe. So lightning speed for Brooklyn Gabriel. Flies down the first base side and beats the throw out. A good exchange and very quick on the throw. Got a gun over on the third base side. And Cassidy Peterson will step in. So the Dukes knocking on the door with one out here in the bottom of the fifth frame. Runners at first and second. They're chasing two to get even. We'll play a 7-inning game here with no time limit. So plenty of baseball, correction, softball left. My baseball mind just shifted gears on me. Sure. And I apologize because I do a lot of baseball games. Don't hold it against me. Fouled off. Count is 0-1. Jam there, down on the barrel. Look at that, tagging the runner. There goes 1-2 like that. So a heads-up play on the shortstop side. She pulls down the flare, and a runner was on the move off of second base. That'll do it. They'll turn the side over. They'll leave 2. And the Utah Magic will get on the offensive side. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. Semifinal matchup. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. Chris Allard with the call, the 2024 AFA National Championship. Well, a pitching change for the West Coast Dukes. Ava Blanco takes over. Michael and Kimberly, parents, taking some warm-up tosses. She looked pretty good in her warm-ups. And stepping in, Leah Malo will the batter of record to start things off here in the top of the 6th. As mentioned, we play 7. And lengthy conversation out there. A couple things trying to work out here. Not sure whether it's, yes, it was what I thought it was. And it's just the pitches. Different pitch calling from the coaches. Got to get that wristband on. Make sure you get your numbers right. So Blanco ready to go. Leah Malo seeing her for the first time here in the 6th. Count is 1-0. And a hard hit ball back up the middle. That gets through on the shortstop side. So Blanco facing Leah Malo, the first batter. And on board with a single. And a ball up. Something happened there for the catcher. She looks like she's in a little bit of pain, grimacing there. I'm not sure whether something on her finger. And she looks like she's in a lot of pain there. So we'll take a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, hopefully everything's okay with Cassie Peterson, and getting behind the plate now, Lauren Meyer. Lauren will take over behind the dish, and the count is 2-1 to the batter. So Lila Comey. So Meyer sets up behind the plate. Time is called there. Cowley steps out. And a bunt laid down on the first base side, spins out foul. And Comey will come back. Correction, Cowley will come back. And a ball there. Full count, 3-2 to Lila Coleman. So Cowley, a full count here. And a strike on the inside. Great looking pitch on the inner half. And that was an excellent punch out. a strike called. Count is 0-1. Maya Sandberg. Runner at first, one out. Ball's popped up. Easy play at the pitching. So routine grab there, and 2 outs recorded. Count is 0-1. So 1-2 count to the batter, Jesse Johnson here. Runner still parked at first with 2 outs. Slow roller back to the pitcher. That'll do it there. They'll turn it over. They'll strand one. It's a 3-run affair. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. So a pitching change here for the Magic. Stepping in number 2, Kimber Johnson. Spinner, that'll get off the cleat there. That'll get on board with a single. So on board is Tori Newman. Kalina Tafua will step in. And an opportunity here. Single. On board was Tori Newman. And Kalina will step in. And a strike. Good pitch there. The count's 0-1. Counts 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Ball is up. Runner goes. A good throw down. The tag is on. But good speed getting into second. So Tori Newman will move up. 90 feet on a ball. Called at the plate. And a knuckleball low there. That thing spins, and they'll get, then in trouble there. So all of a sudden, like that, a fundamental play on the Utah Magic side. And like that, there's an opportunity here knocking on the 6th. Where you could have had one out, you have no outs on a routine play. So the runners at the corners for the Dukes. And Romo steps in. Romo takes a look at a strike. They throw down to second. They're going to play the game here with the runner at third base. They're going to run her back. They come home. A perfect play right there in the out at home. So they get the out at home on the play to get the runner to go. And they executed that one good on the defensive side. But the runner will move up. Kalina gets to second on that play. They get the out at home. So one out. The count is 0-2. Romo steps back in. High fly ball. First baseman. And she's on it with the glove. Sandberg makes it. She gets the grab on the fly out. Straight up. And there's two down here. And Samantha Halper will step in. And a good stop behind the plate. And a ball shallow. Shortstop's got to move, and a grab. Does she have it? She comes up with it. Are you kidding me? Wow, what a grab. That was a run-saving catch there. And it looked as though the Dukes were going to bring one over. And laying it out in the shortstop position. What a grab. Well, we saw a great play there and well executed by the Utah Magic from your shortstop. Lily Knight takes care of things there. Pretty impressive defensive play to save a runner. Stay with us, folks. It's a good one. We're headed to the 7th. Well, back to live action. We're in the 7th frame, the 7th and final frame here. And the West Coast Dukes being the home team, they'll get the bottom half, so there's no time limit in these games. It's a semifinal matchup. The winner gets a ticket. They'll punch it to the show. Eva Blanco. Blanco stays out pitching. Maddie Nish ready to go. Ball's low. So Yazzie ready to go here, looks at a 1-0 count. Shortstop, a good gather and a good throw. Like that, bang, bang play. And good action at the shortstop position for Kalia Thomas. She's got a good arm. She's made some outstanding plays here today. And they get the first out. Stepping in number 4, Lily Knight. Strike call. Counts 0-1. Ava works ahead. Ball up. The count goes to 1-1. And a well-hit ball to the left side. It stays in fair. Down the third base line, rounding with good speed. And a ground rule double. So Lily Knight gets on board. Finds herself at second. Kimber Johnson will step in. And Johnson takes a cut fouled out of play. Count is 0-1. And a 1-1 count. And a strike call. Count is 1-2. And a ball hit to the right side. Long throw home. And a good play there from the right fielder, bringing that ball in. But on board, Kimber Johnson gets a single, runners at the corners. Alexa Nance will step in for the Utah Magic with one out here in the 7th. Final inning of play here. The Dukes will get the bottom half. Pitch on the way. High fly ball. Rolling out, and a good effort off of first base, but in foul territory, not able to pull it down. Ball as though the count goes to 1-1. Shortstop. Little trouble there. And the run will score. So Knight will come home. And Kalia, who's been spot on all day long in the shortstop position, making outstanding plays, just had a little trouble with that one. Came in and out of her glove. So Nance gets on board with a single and an RBI. They pick up their 4th. Bella Hill will step in. Ball's up, the count's 1-0. And swing and a miss, back pick attempt. A good throw, though, out of the pop quickly. Lauren Meyer behind the plate. Lauren heads up thinking there. Count is 1-2. So Sylvia holds it a 1-2 count. June locked and loaded back in. And swing and a miss outside. Back pick there. And a strikeout. So Ava will get the K there. And Leah Melo will step in with runners at first and second and 2 outs for Ava Blanca. Oh, Ava ready to go here. Leah locked in. Behind the plate. Meyer sets up. Count is 1-0. And swung on, fouled straight back. The count goes to 1-1. And a ball gets through on the shortstop side, rounding, coming home, and to the fence. Here comes one, and here comes the second run across, and like that. And a broken play there. And like that, Melo on the throw-in was at second. They shut her down there, and the throw-in got away. And she ends up at third and gets 2 RBIs out of the deal. So they pick up their 5th and 6th there. So Maddie Nash steps in. Maddie takes a cut, fouls it off. The count's 0-1. And another cut foul. The count's 0-2. Ava works ahead here. Looking to get her club on the offensive side. They get the bottom half of the final inning here in the 7th. There's no time limit. And an 0-2 count to the batter, Maddie Nish. And a high flyer. That'll go into foul territory, and a good grab there. So the right fielder, she makes the grab. The Dukes, they go to the bottom of the 7th. They'll finish it off here. Stay with us. A good one. We'll be right back. It's 6-1 Utah Magic over the West Coast Dukes. So we're ready to go here. We're in the bottom 7th, the last frame there is of this matchup. The winner makes it to the show. It's a semifinal game here. Kimber Johnson stays on. Shively steps in. Takes a cut there, strike one. Charlotte coming in as a substitution hitting. And she's got an 0-1 count on her. And upstairs a riser. The count's 0-2. And strike three called. So Kimber Johnson will start off with the strikeout. And the batter, number 4, will step in. Kayla Thomas. One out. And a strike there. Kayla takes a look. So Kalia looks at strike one. Ball is up. The count goes to 1-1. And a strike call. Gets the low part of the zone called. Kalia laid off there. The count is 1-2. Second baseman, a good gather there, is in time. So the Dukes are down to their final out here in the bottom of the 7th, and the batter, number 99, Lauren Mayer, comes in. Lauren ready to go. Pitch on the way. Change up. Count is 0-1. And a strike on the outside. So they're down to their final strike, an 0-2 count. And Lauren steps back in. Knuckleball. That's outside of the reach, so they have a play at first, no. So a ball low on the barrel, just outside of the reach on the second baseman. So on board with a single. Lauren Mayer. And the batter will step in, top of the order here for the Dukes, Brooklyn. She will step in with Mayer at first. It's a 2-out affair here. Trying to extend the inning and put a few across. Strike called there. The count's 0-1. Kimber Johnson works ahead. The winner of this game goes on to the title match. They get to the show, the main event. Shallow could drop in, and a grab made a long way, and that'll do it. That's the ball game, folks. And a great matchup, and congratulations to the West Coast Dukes baseball organization and a fine effort that they put out there on the field today. But your winner, the Utah Magic 12U, they'll move on to the title match, the show, the main event. They all work hard to get here. And a semifinal, just to get to this point, speaks volumes to the level of skill required to compete here today. My name's Chris Allard. For the AFA 2024 National Championship, your West Coast Dukes and the Utah Magic. They'll shake hands at home plate. That's what it's all about in the end. And these fine young athletes will continue to move on. For now, the Utah Magic, they'll move on to the show. They punch their ticket. And the West Coast Dukes, the semifinalists, a fine showing here in St. George, Utah. Folks, this is it. This one's officially in the books. So long from St. George.